Hello, everyone. My name is Pennie Gregory, and I am the Assistant Director of Secondary Special Services in the MSD of Wayne Township. Thank you so much for watching this video and taking your time to learn about Black history. I think it's so important, and I think I have very good information to share with you today about a very special young man. I started my educational career at Ball State University in 1994, many moons ago, and graduated in 1999 with an elementary education undergraduate degree and went to teach in Baltimore City Public Schools for a number of years. I've also taught in Evansville Vandenberg School Corporation, in Indianapolis Public Schools, and also in the charter sector here in Indianapolis. I'm so happy and so proud now to be serving here in the MSD of Wayne Township. Today, I want to share with you the story of a young man named Emmett Till. In August 1955, Emmett Till had just turned 14, and his mother had decided that Emmett would go visit relatives in Money, Mississippi. His great uncle and his cousins were there, and he was going to go spend some time with them and just be a family. During that visit, Emmett went to a store and was accused of harassing a white woman. A few days later, her relatives came and kidnapped Emmett from his great uncle's home in the middle of the night and brutally beat him, um, killed him, and dumped his body in a river. Um, there were laws in the South that were governing the way people behaved that Emmett Till was not aware of because he was from Chicago. He was from the North. And these laws were called Jim Crow laws. These laws existed to keep blacks and whites separate. They weren't allowed to attend the same schools or sit in the same areas in restaurants or buses or theaters, use the same restrooms, or even drink from the same water fountain. And so Emmett Till did not live in a place governed by Jim Crow laws, so he didn't know what was expected of him um, in Money, Mississippi. And so this hate crime that occurred the summer of 1955 led to outrage. And when Emmett's body was sent back to Chicago with his mother, Mamie, his mother opted to have an open casket funeral for her son. And for those of you who don't know what that means instead of the casket being closed, um, and sometimes that'll happen if there's a lot of um, damage to the body. His mother opted, even with all the damage and harm done to Emmett, to have his casket remain open so that his body could be on display. And his body was on display for several days, for 5 days, and tens of thousands of people came to the Roberts Temple Church of God in Chicago to see the evidence of this crime. And so you might be asking yourself, well, why? Why would she do that? His mother was devastated, to say the least, but she insisted on a public, open casket funeral because she was determined to shed light on the violence inflicted on Black people in the South. She did not want his death to be in vain. And so, because of her bravery and her strength, this was actually one of the big incidents that galvanized or helped to push forward the civil rights movement. If you can remember, the other one was just a few months later in December, Rosa Parks refusing to move on the segregated bus that she was in. And so there weren't just one or two things that created this movement that led people to say enough is enough. There were a lot of things, and Emmett's horrible, heinous murder was one of them. And so um, I want to leave you with that Emmett Till, he was here. He was a young black boy visiting family in the South, and his death should not be in vain, and that we should continue to remember who he was so that we could remember that there is still work to be done, so that we can live in a society that accepts people for who they are.